Hey everyone, Josh here with Josh Nahm Golf, and today we're going to look at the swing of Brooks Koepka, the reigning U.S. Open champion, two-time reigning U.S. Open champ, and we're going to look at his golf swing and talk a little bit about what allows Brooks to hit the ball so far and so straight, and what you can learn from his swing. And we're going to look a lot at his wrist angles today and what he does with his wrists that allow him to hit the ball so well, and why your wrist angles might keep you from hitting the ball far and straight. And for all of you that tend to slice the ball, pay careful attention because I think this tip is really going to help you. So I've got Brooks Koepka here on the left, and I've got a student of mine on the right. The student actually has turned into a really good player, but this is the first lesson he ever took, and he kind of does what you don't want to do as a golfer in terms of wrist angles. So let's kind of play through the swings and talk about different positions and how wrist angles make such a big difference in the swing. So as we take Brooks back, this video is going to get a little blurry, and we'll look at a couple others. Dustin Johnson, we know, has a bowed wrist at the top. Jordan Spieth, Jon Rahm, and talk about how that helps them hit the ball farther. So when we look at Brooks Koepka here, and I apologize for the blurry video at the club head, but the club face is about at this angle, or kind of matching his spine angle, really. We're not looking for a toe-up position. We're looking for that club face to stay a little more closed than toe-up. And with this player that started, as we take him back, we're going to see his club face actually a little more open than toe-up. As we go from there to the top, we're going to see as Brooks gets it to the top and as this player does. Now, obviously, they have different swings, different arm lengths and everything else, but let's just pay attention to the wrist angles and what it does to the club face. So we see with Brooks here, he's got a very bowed left wrist. That left wrist is bowed at the top, which causes the right wrist to really bend back. And with this player on the right, we have kind of a cuppy left wrist, which causes his right wrist to get very flat. And what this does is it influences the club face. So Brooks here, this club face would be considered shut. The club face is pointed more to the sky. The angle of it is more shut than his left forearm. It's a very closed club face. With this player here on the right, this club face would be considered open. So we see that kind of club face angle in his forearm. That club face is open. Brooks Koepka's is closed. And they're going to both maintain those wrist angles coming down. So as we start with Brooks as he comes down, we're going to see right about here, again, how that left wrist is kind of bowed down and the right wrist is bent back. And with this player, we're going to see how the left wrist stays cupped through there. And what that does is it really opens his club face. That club face is way too open, where Brooks Koepka's is much more square. So getting into the ball, we can see a square club face there. And we're going to see with this player how the club face is wide open. So this is going to cause a high glancing blow to the right that loses a lot of distance, not because it's necessarily a bad swing, but because the club face doesn't match. I'll show you another one a little more clear here with Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm's in his second or third year on tour. Very strong player, hits the ball a long way. And we're going to see a lot of similarities here. And so as we go to the top with Jon Rahm, again, we're going to see that club face is matching his spine angle. He has not opened the face. He has not gotten it toe up. As he gets to the top, we can see a very pronounced bowed left wrist. And I'm sure you heard the announcers talk about this with Dustin Johnson a lot and Brooks Koepka at the U.S. Open. And this is going to help shut the face. And then as Jon Rahm comes down, again, if I clear these out, we're going to see wrist is still bowed, that left wrist, which shuts the club face, and coming down, that club face is very square to the arc. And if I show you one more, we'll look at a Jordan Spieth. And again, you don't see a cupped left wrist at the top. Very, very bowed with the right wrist bent back. They will maintain this as they come down. Again, you see this very bowed left wrist with Jordan Spieth. And as he comes down, that shuts the club face early in the arc. He doesn't have to flip it. Everything stays square to the arc. So there's a lot to learn about wrist angles here. Getting that left wrist to bow, feeling like the club head stays very, very shut in the backswing and very shut in the downswing. And I think this will really, really help you improve your game, especially if you slice the ball. Helps close the club face, more solid contact, hit the ball longer and straighter. So try this out. Really work on getting the top with a bowed left wrist as you come down. Keep that left wrist bowed. Work on that a bit, and I bet we're going to start hitting longer, straighter drives as well.